Okay, so that is the 1/2 inch hole I was telling you about. This is the grommet that snaps into that 1/2 inch hole. Again, I had to clear away the plastic on this, but that was part of the problem. Okay, so now what's going to happen is I'm going to take this piece and stick it up through the bottom. It has an Allen key that I tighten it with, and then the washer and the lock washer and the top piece will go on from there. So let's see here if I'm I may not be able to do this here. Let's see. Sure, I got the small tripod out here today. So anyway, I'll get my hand up underneath there. I'll stick that up here. Okay, now I just move things around a little bit, but I'm going to just hold it. I'm going to lock it in and wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Once I got it in, I just made it hand tight. It's not tight, as you can see. I just wanted to make sure everything's all set. Now what I'm going to do next is I am going to get my ohm meter. I'm going to snug it up just a little bit, check with the ohm meter to make sure I have no shorts. Alright, so that's tight enough now to where I can get my meter out and check it to make sure that I have no shorts between this top piece and any other piece of ground or metal. Okay, I can just hear it. So when I touch these two together, that tells me that's a short. So if I touch the top stud here and I touch something iron, metal, like the bumper trailer hitch or something, I should not hear anything. And I'm kind of scratching it because I want to make sure that I'm not just picking up on paint. Okay, so that's bolted to the frame. Frame's bolted to everything else, so therefore I have no shorts. I'm going to check it on the hinge too, just for the hell of it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I want to check it from underneath to the stud that I've just locked up with the Allen key, which is connected to the center, and I want to hear a beep. Yeah, so I got a beep there. Okay, so we're all set. Now if I touch the ground portion up underneath there, which is the thread-on part, let me get my hand up under there somehow, guys, hold on. So I got to touch two things here at the same time. So I'm going to touch the thread-on part where the antenna wire screws onto, and touch something metal. Something metal. And I got ground. Okay. So the ground is giving me ground to the chassis, and the top side is not giving me any ground or shorts to the chassis, which is good. So that tells me this is all good. So I can finish snugging it all down, and I'll check it one more time just to make sure before I totally finish it off. Before I put that all together, I cleaned up underneath the bumper with some steel wool and scraping to make sure that I had a clean surface for a good ground connector. So that's done. So now I'm going to take this 102-inch steel whip. Well, it's a 102-inch with a spring on it. It's a 1/4 wavelength. And we're going to screw it right into the top of that there. I'll probably need two hands, so I'm probably going to have to put this down again. Sorry, guys. Oh, I forgot I have a stud on it. Let me take the stud off it first. That's not going to screw on there when it has a stud. See, that's the old stud that's on there. The best thing actually for 102-inch steel or any heavy antenna is a what they call a ball mount. Most of the guys, you're probably familiar with them with the old state trooper cars and sheriffs. They have a large ball with the antenna sticking on it. So, okay, so this screws into here. And I will put this on that so that doesn't twist underneath, and I will snug that up to that. Now this is also set in here with an Allen screw, so I will check that just to make sure everything's okay. Now why I have the rubber on here, about 1.5 feet of it, is so that if this touches anything it's not going to short out. Usually it's up here. Plus if it hits my van it's not going to scratch it. Alright, so that's why the rubber's on there. Because again, you got to remember the antenna is the hot side, the van is the ground side. So if the antenna touches the van, it's going to short out. So, alright, so, man, it's getting hot. Hot, hot, hot. Tools were just sitting on the back of the bumper for a few minutes, and they're hot to touch. Now this is the old stud that I was talking about. Now this thing is basically shot, but this part with the collar is still good. This is the bottom piece. Now remember that little white separator I was talking about that I was showing you before? Here it's a little larger, so yeah, it's black. Okay, but that also tells me that this started pulling out through. So that could be some of the problems that I was having, because I was starting to have a little bit of a problem with the CV not working properly. So if you tighten this down too tight, what happens is, because this piece that I'm screwing this onto is connected to that center piece there, it'll start pulling it right out. And that's what started happening. Okay. So you want to snug them, but you don't want to just keep tightening up on them, because they'll keep tightening, and then the next thing you know, you ruin the piece. That's like, no, I'll keep this piece, and I'll keep that bushing. This piece I will not keep. Okay, back out in the sun we go. Should have pulled it on the side. I got shade on the side. No, I put it right here, right dead sun. Anyway, there's the antenna wire. Ta-da! And this screws onto that underneath that stud I was talking about. Remember? Now I want to make sure that this is all good. Right. Now see that? I don't know if it's just me or what. Let me see if I can use the zoom on the camera here to zoom in a little bit and see. I don't know if this. Oh, come on. Come on, focus here, guys. See that little dark spot right there? That's not a good connector. That's not a good connection. Alright. I don't like that connection at all. So I'm going to get the solder iron out here and I'm going to resolder this. Alright, now you can see the difference. Yeah, much better. Okay, so now I'm going to screw the collar back on. And if we look up underneath here, you should be able to see. I can't see it. Maybe I can, I don't know. But yeah, there's the stud. So I'm going to screw that coax into that stud. We're going to lay you on the ground. See if I can kind of show you where the hell it was there. There we go. See? Wire screwed in. So now we're connected. Now what I'm going to do is when I get to the other side of that wire, which is inside, I'm going to put the ohmmeter on again. And I should not have any shorts. Alright, I am now on the inside of the van, and here's the other side of that coax. So again, I'm going to touch the casing. I unscrewed the collar a little bit. I'm going to touch the casing there. And I'm going to touch the tip, and I should not hear any sound. Which I don't. Alright, Hear that? Yeah. And I don't want to. If I heard that by touching these two, that tells me I've got a short. Either in the coax, the connectors, or somewhere in the stud that I just put in. So it's telling me we haven't got any. No, no, Nick. No, no, buddy. No, no. Come on. Get down. No, no. So, alright, so now the other thing is, if I can do this without my boys trying to get in, and I touch the casing again, and where am I? Here we go. And then I'm going to touch something metal on the truck to make sure that I got a good ground. Alright, so we got a good ground. So that's good. So that tells me we got a ground. So my chassis and my grounds are all good. So the antenna ground side is grounded to the vehicle. Now what I'm going to try to do, which is going to be tough, because I got to get the tip of the antenna. Now this would be usually done with either two people or a couple of test leads, you know, jumpers, little jumpers. What I want to do, oops, sorry Tuck. What I want to do is I want to touch the center stud, the center of the tip here, to the antenna tip, or part of the antenna itself, because this is the hot side, remember? So I want to make sure that from hot to hot I have a connection. So let me see if I can bend that antenna down here first. Whoops. Nikki, get out here. Nikki. So much for Nikki. Come on. Alright, and stay in there. Okay, so anyway, I got the antenna tip. I knew this was going to happen. I told you, it takes me longer to do anything. Okay, I got the antenna tip, and I'm touching the tip of the antenna connector. Like I told you, this piece here, where am I? This piece here, with the two ends, and I got continuity. So that tells me the antenna is all connected properly. Now if the camera continues to work after Nikki decides to pounce around through the place, that's another story. What are you going to do? You're going to drive the car? Huh? Are you done? Come on. Come on out here. Now what are you doing down there? You're going to get yourself locked in. Here, come on, over here. Come on, get over here. Come on. Alright, stay there then. Stay out of my way for now, okay? So what I did earlier, by the way, is I pulled the wire out from the console so I don't have to keep going underneath. And I added a piece of jumper with a barrel connector on it, so I can screw these two pieces together. Now I do have an SWR meter, standing wave ratio, somewhere in here, which I could put in the middle of this if I wanted to, but I'm going to wait because I got a bigger one in the garage that has power and everything else, as well as frequency. So that'll tell me if all that's going to work. Plus it'll give me a chance to get Nikki out of here. Alright, come on. Good boy. Alright, now that he walked around inside and figured out that there's nothing in here that's all that important, I can have my truck back. So, alright, so like I said, I have a larger meter in the garage that has power, SWR, and frequency. Now I was having a problem with this radio, so I should, for all intended purposes, be able to turn the radio on and hear something, unless the radio is just a problem. There we go. Static is a good thing. Got a lot of noise. Alright, that tells me it's good. Got a lot of movement on my needle, which is good. Now, I remember right, if I key the mic on this, it usually... okay, got my talk back on. Let me turn that off. Good. There we go. What I had done was I Let me get this up here more. I took the main switch that was here for the so-called digital squelch control. I just locked that on, and I use that for a talkback feature. Let me get into the channel so I can check my my audio output, so I'm not over distorted or too low. So with that on, hello. Say I can talk and hear myself, so I know that I'm broadcasting audio, and I can see I'm broadcasting a signal because of the meter movement. Now the box just below it, that's a box that I actually built years ago, and everything that's in that box years ago, that's well, what it is, let me see if I can make this work without totally driving everybody crazy here. Hold on, guys. You know what happened? The camera moved. There we go. Okay, so now I can do it this way. Alright, anyway. It may squeal for a minute because I got it too loud. But let me turn the mic in down a little bit more. And hello. This switch here, hello. There we go. Hello. Now this, where is it? Hello. Echo. I don't like transmitting foolishly on any frequency, be it CB or anything else. You get into a habit of doing it, and you're going to do it. That's a quiet channel around here, so it didn't bother me too much, but I wouldn't want to continue to do that. Hello, come on, lock up. There we go. So I just want to adjust that real quick, so I don't have to adjust it later. Hello. Now I'll get a hum now. Hello. Hear that hum? That's only because I have the talk back on. It's not there when I turn it up without it, because I'm not getting any feedback, and I don't see it on the needle. If that was going to hum, even with the talk back off, the needle would come up with that hum, and it's not, because I'm in transmit mode. So that tells me everything is fine there. Now, I'll turn that back on a minute, turn this up just a hair. Hello. Now it's going to squeal. Back down to squeal. Now I've got the modulator on. Now I can turn that modulator up a lot more once I turn the talkback off. And then, hello, echo. Yeah, get nasty there, Mr. Echo. Hello. There we go. Sometimes the echo, if it's set just right, it gives you that depth that you're looking for. Hello, off, on. Hello. Hey, hello. Test. Hello. Alright, so that's where I'm basically going to leave it. I am going to turn the power modulator off and the talkback off. And I know that it's all set. All I have to do is turn the modulator on, and it's okay. Now again, that's CB. You know, CB is kind of like the trash channels, you know. But at the same token, sometimes you can have a little fun on them. You don't like to trash them up too much, because there are people on there that cannot get off. You know, they just haven't got the means of getting off or getting into amateur radio or anything like that. So, you know, you really don't want to, you know, really clutter up their channels too much, just like I wouldn't want them to get on any of my HF channels or my 2 meters or anything, you know, and start cluttering that up. You know, it's a respect thing. Right? Find a channel that's quiet, do what you have to do, try to stay within the middle of the band when you're doing it, so you'll know that you're, you know, wherever it is, you should be okay, give or take, depending on higher or lower. You know, your SWRs are 1, maybe a lot lower than on channel 40. or vice versa. Well, if you get them as low as you can on channel, we'll say 20, 21, you know, at that point you can pretty well be certain that you're going to be okay throughout the band. All right. So, all right. So anyway, so much for that. All right. So you're hearing static. Okay. So we know we got noise. Big deal. Now we're going to work on setting the SWRs. Now I don't want it to really go into the red. I'll be happy with it anywheres from like maybe 1.3 to 1.7 or so 1.6. If you can see right there, the 1.5, and there's another line just a little bit larger and different from the rest of them. That's 1.6. The higher it starts to go there, and then you'll start losing power. The more it goes into the red, the more you're going to blow up your radio. Alright, I want to see it somewhere between maybe between the 1 and the 1.5 and maybe 1.6 or a notch up from that. That's where I feel the radio works best. So what I first have to do is key the mic, and I have to adjust it to set. So I'm adjusting it to set. The needle's on set. Push that in. Well, some meters work different. Some just have a switch to do it. Now when I key it, it's going to tell me what my SWRs are. 1.6. To me, that's perfect. 1 to 1 to me is not perfect. 1.3, 4, 5, 6, that's to me perfect. And that's in the middle of the band, so I know if I go up or down, I know I'm going to be safe. Now I'm going to check it just for the hell of it. I'm going to check two things. Right now I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to check. You're not going to see it, but I'm going to check the needle on the radio when I key the mic to see where it goes. So, alright, when I key on the radio, I'm going to a 9. Okay? Alright, I'm moving up to a 9. Back it down just to here. Okay. So that tells me where I'm at there. Now I'm going to go down to channel 1, come back over here, recalibrate. You have to do it all over again. Whoop, a little bit lower, come on. Push it down, 1.5. See, so it went down a point on channel 1. So that means it may stay there or it may go up a point on channel 40. I'm on channel 40. So we're going to pull this out. I'm going to recalibrate. Back to set. Push it in. 1.6. Okay, right where it was before. So I know across the band, my radio is not transmitting, my antenna is not giving me any higher than a 1.6 SWR. Now, we got to remember the meter's in line. That's why I checked the meter on the radio. Now if I pull the meter out, and the meter on the radio doesn't go to 9 like it did with the meter in, that means my SWR's changed a little bit. Now how far, we don't know. SWR meter in the radio usually is a little bit more accurate, sometimes because you're actually seeing it in the radio, but a good meter like this, a bird on the outside, it shows you what you're getting at the end of it. You follow me? So these are just as accurate, but in a different way. So now, I'm going to disconnect the meter, put the barrel back in line, and the only reason why I'm not direct, now you never want to key the mic with the antenna out. The only reason why it's not direct, because it's easier for me to disconnect and reconnect. If I have to take the console out, I don't have to keep, trying to squeeze my hand up underneath to unscrew from the radio. I can just unscrew from here. Now another thing is, when you do your connectors, you want to make sure you solder. Don't use crimp-ons. The other thing is the collar here, the RG 175 or 176, depending upon the coax that you're using. That's part of your ground system, so you want to make sure that those are tight, because this little collar will unscrew from that. So you got to pay attention. You want them tight. So I'm going to check the radio mount to it, and it goes right where it's supposed to, right where it was before. And if I turn it up, it squeals. Okay, good. So, for all intended purposes, the radio should work. Now, there's so much noise out there right now, I doubt. Something else to think about. When you're checking a transmitter, transceiver, whatever it is you want to call it, it's a good idea not to disconnect the antenna from the radio while the radio is on. If not, you really want to pay attention, only because you don't want to make it a habit of possibly keying the mic thinking that you had everything hooked up, and in fact you didn't. And then there's a strong possibility you're going to blow that output transistor that I was talking about, that final PA system, power amplifier. There's a lot of things that it's called. It all depends on who you're talking to. So, but nevertheless, it's going to cost you money if you decide you want to get it fixed. Okay, I'm going to check the SWRs on this. This one here, I just put it on SWR and key the mic. I don't have to do any adjustment. And this is showing me a 1 to 1.3, right where I want it. And let's go to power, and I am doing 47 watts. Excellent. So the 2-meter radio is doing everything that it's supposed to be doing. Come here. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you listen, don't you? Yes, you do. Oh, stop. Yeah, you listen, huh? Yeah, buddy. Come on. There. Okay. Now that noise you hear when I disconnect it, it has something to do with the tone squelch and things. So you don't want to be too